Hello everyone. I'm here with a third part to my tarot and oracle deck collection. These are other decks that they just somehow ended up together in the same shelf. As I was pulling them out, I started to think that maybe if I do a different deck collection video, I might want to just arrange the decks in like themes. I think that would also help me with what I wanted to accomplish, which is to look at my deck collection and see patterns of decks that I'm interested in. If there's gaps, not that I need to fill gaps, but sometimes you realize that there's a type of deck that maybe you don't have when you're looking at decks that interest you, and you can easily weed out the ones that you feel like you already have a lot of the same. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to share with you guys the deck collection videos. So first off, here we have the Sovereign Oracle, and by Teresa Pridemore. I really like this deck. I was able to back the Indiegogo campaign the second time that it ran, and I actually got the Creative Visions version of it. It's not with me right now. It's in a different shelf, but these ones are really cool. It's just text with a keyword and some prompts. The prompts are awesome though. They really help you dive deeper into the meaning of the word. So I used these cards for an interactive mandala that I made for myself, which I mentioned in a different video recently. But I will be doing a more in-depth video about it, and maybe like a little tutorial about how to make it. I do have a tutorial in Spanish. If you speak Spanish, I'll link it in the description box if you're interested. So this is the Sovereign Oracle, and it just is a text deck with different words, but it's really cool. I love using this one. I also have some playing cards here. I got these ones at Five Below, and I blame Kristen from Over the Moon Academy for letting me know about them. And then I went to a store called Five Below here in the US and purchased not just the one I saw Kristen use, but two more. So these ones are really colorful, which is why I got them. A long time ago, I started trying to learn how to read playing cards. I can't say I read them very much or that I have completely learned how to read them, but I like to have them for other like creative projects that I might need cards for. These ones were really cool because they have plants. So they have 52 different kinds of plants. So even if I don't read with them, I thought I could use them in pictures, and like I said, when I need to make cards, like make your own oracle. So because I have quite a few to get through, I'm not going to show you all the cards in the deck, but just enough for you to get an idea. And this one I got by accident. I thought this one was going to be the colorful one that I showed first, but it turned out to be just a black card with like a rainbow signs. So those are some of the playing cards I have. I showed this one in the spooky deck video, so I don't think I'm gonna open it. It's a Rider-Waite tarot deck that's black and red, and I really like the look of it. It's definitely a great deck for like the Halloween season, And I do think that I use color a lot in my work, like the energetics of color. So I do think that you get into a different energy when you use like red or black colors versus using this purple and pink and blue one. So I do want to show you this one because I think it's really cool, and it matches with the background that I use for my journaling videos, which is a purple background. These ones I got from Card and Craft store on Etsy. This is the card back. They are very glossy, but the cardstock is really thick, so they shuffle really easily. And let me just show you a few of the cards. So they all have the same background color palette with the Rider-Waite-Smith images and symbols in white. I just really like the look of them when you read them. I think they look really nice because purple and this cosmic palette is one of my favorite colors. And let's see, let's move some stuff out of the way. I think I might have mentioned the Lost Code Tarot on another deck for inner child work video. And this one is really fun. This book is like a mystery map. There's like a story here that tells the story of how these cards were found. I think it's really cool. And I really like it for story, like for making stories with cards. Let's see if you can see it. The people cards are really good for making a story, kind of like the Kitty Kahane tarot that I mentioned a while ago in another video. And this one is by Andrea. The author, the creator of the deck, has another, Andrea Aste, has another deck called the Light and Shadow Tarot, and I really want to get that one. So there's two decks in one. I think these are all upside down. And it has similar art, and it also has like a virtual reality component to it, which I think is so cool. But this is the Lost Code Tarot. And I remember at first when I got it, I was a little unsure of how I was going to like it. Did I show you the card back? I think the card back is really nice too. But then when I started working with it, I really like how it read, and I want to work with study the workbook, not the workbook, the guidebook a little more. Up next I have the Hermetic Tarot. I think I got this one after reading a review by Benabel Wen. When I started collecting and working with the tarot, I had like a few people that were really influential in my acquisition of decks. So Tarot Map, Cassia from Tarot Map was one of them, and Benabel Wen is the other one that I feel whenever I saw like their reviews and their videos, they were just so great at describing decks that it made me want to get those decks. Now I don't really feel like that. Like I watch reviews of decks, but I don't feel like I have to get all the decks. Maybe because I have most of them. And I'm also just being more selective with the decks I do get. This one is one of the few black and white cards that I have, and I think it's such a deep deck, like deep in the sense of a lot of symbolism, a lot of things about the Hermetic tradition of magic that I'm not familiar with, but I want to learn more about. So this is like a study deck for me. And up next I have this one. It's in Spanish. Tarot by Luisa Beni. And I actually have the cards outside of their box, but I might put them back in. I searched for this deck for so long. There's a channel here on YouTube called Cocina de la Vida, or Cositas de la Vida, and she has videos about how to use the Tarot de Marseille, and I just love the look of the cards. So I searched for them until I found the copy on eBay from Spain, and I really like how they look. They're super thin. That was one thing that excuse me, that was a little bit disappointing, but I do really love the look of the deck. It comes with a blank card for you to use and make your own card, I guess. This is the card back, and they're very small also, which I love because of my small hands. And it comes with a very nice size book. So I think I'm gonna put it back in here instead of the box where I was keeping it. Maybe. In this box I collect boxes, and then I had a period where I was making boxes too. I have a few Lenormand decks. This one I printed from Carrie Paris from her website. So I printed it and cut it out. So this is a freebie. I'm not sure if it's still available. I haven't done anything to the back, so right now it's just blank. And then I have this deck of cards. I've had this one for playing cards for a long time, and this is when I was learning to read the Lenormand, but I didn't have a Lenormand deck. But I saw online that you could make your own Lenormand deck by writing or the word and then the keyword on the corresponding playing card. So I made this one for myself. And then I think I came across another system by Ana Cortez, and she had additional cards because the Lenormand doesn't use the 52 cards from the playing cards deck. So I added those to the deck so I could use all of the cards. And next on this side I have, these are not in any order or grouped in any specific theme. They're just, like I said at the beginning, they ended up living together in a shelf. This is the Gentle Tarot by Mary in the Sky. I really love this deck. I backed the Kickstarter last year, I believe. I think this was the very first Kickstarter that I backed. And I just love these cards, the artwork, how they speak to me. They inspire me to write poetry. So that's how I started using the deck and getting to know the cards. I think I was doing a poetry challenge, and I was pulling a card from this deck and writing a poem inspired by the artwork. Check the time. I really like the color palette. Is kind of like muted and bright at the same time. It's very interesting. I really like that they're gilded. The whole production of them was really great. And then the creator is such a lovely person. I highly recommend checking her out. There is a pocket edition of this deck, which I almost wanted to get, but stopped myself because as you can see, I have a lot of decks, so I probably don't need doubles of any of them. I know some people have doubles of some decks. I have not found a deck that I would like to buy a replacement of. This is a tarot for kids. I did an unboxing video for it in my channel. The cards are pretty big, and I have used them with my daughters. The book is really nice. We were pulling a card on night, and I was reading them the description, and we haven't been doing that lately, but I would like to go back to doing that, especially because as they're getting older, they're having more like complex feelings and relationships with their friends, and it might help them and help me talk to them about these things. So we are going back to pulling some cards from this deck. I think this deck is so beautiful and great for children and adults alike. I might have to put that book in there later. I also have the Soul Cards 1 and 2 by Deborah Koff Chapin, and I really love these cards. I bought them together when last year Deborah was doing this offer where she was giving away 5 of her coloring books for free. You just paid for shipping. So since I had wanted her decks, and I thought what she was doing was awesome to give away her books for free, I ended up purchasing both of her decks and getting her books for free also, just so I could support her. She has a third deck that is on my list, but I haven't purchased it yet. These cards don't have any words on them, so you really just are engaging with the art and the feelings that you get from looking at them, and they are really evocative. There's a little guidebook, not with descriptions of the cards, but just with some suggestions on how to use them. But yeah, the artwork in them is really deep. I might have them upside down. And just you just pick one and you let it speak to you. You let it connect with your body, and you start noticing how you feel when you look at the different images, what thoughts are coming to your mind as you look at them, what memories do they remind you of things, do you feel pulled in or rejected or reflected, pushed away by the cards. And Deborah uses, I think it's touch drawing, which is really awesome. She has some videos in her YouTube, no, not her YouTube, her Instagram account of how she does the, oh, I totally forgot how this came. How she does the touch drawing, and it's really cool. And she also has workshops. She's just an awesome person to follow, so do give her a follow. Her name is Deborah Koff Chapin, and Soul Cards 1 and 2 are a little similar in terms of the artwork, but they're not. They're all different artwork, and you could combine both of them and use them together. You can also use this as like a frame. You could put one of the card that you pull out and then stick it back in here and prop it up as to display your card. So see how it kind of looks like a picture frame. I will show you the second one. Hope that my battery doesn't die. So on the outside you get a small picture of all of them. So her third deck is more about a focus on the faces, and it has, I can't remember the name, but I think it has the word face in the name. So this is Soul Cards 2. And for example, since I like working with color, these ones have a lot of color to work with. And they're just very, like I said, very evocative. You don't need words. They communicate with you on a different level, which is great for when we want to connect with other parts of ourselves that are not governed by language, like written language. So yes, these decks are really beautiful. And as I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh, I would really like to get the third deck. I might have to put these ones away later because I don't want to run out of time. All right, then I have the Enchanted Map Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. I used to have another deck by Colette Baron Reid. I think it was the Wisdom of Avalon, and I ended up gifting it to someone. I didn't use it very often, and I didn't connect with it so much. And then when I got this one, I was actually very surprised at how good I was connecting with it, how resonant the messages were for me. And then I also got this one around the time when I started working with Hecate, and when I discovered that there was like this key theme through it, it made me realize that the deck had come to me at this time for a reason. The artwork is that like photoshopped fantasy kind of artwork, but I don't mind it. Some of them are really cool looking, and the guidebook is really awesome. So I do recommend this deck. And I have not purchased any other decks by her. One that I'm interested in is the Crystal Spirit Oracle. So when Hay House has another sale, that's how I got this one. I might purchase that one. Next up, I have the Monology Cards by Jasmine Bolin. I love this one just because of the moon. And I know they just came out with another set of Monology cards, but more for an abundance kind of focus. I really love the card back on this one. It has the different moon phases as well as the different moons in the full moon in each of the signs and the new moon in each of the signs, and it gives you a key phrase to work with. So I think this is a great deck to use for getting to know the moon energies. Although how I started working with the moon was just keeping track of the phases and making notes about how I was feeling during those phases. Then when I was able to go like a level deeper, I started looking at the signs that the moon was in. So moon astrology is it's as deep as you want to go with it. But if you like to work with cards, I think these ones are great if you want to connect with the moon. This one is a newer one that I have not worked with yet. I just got it. I haven't even opened it. Okay, I'm not going to show you this one because I want to open it and have some thoughts to share about it before I do that. It had been on my list for a long time. I was just holding off on it because I had heard different reviews about like the body images that they had decided to use. But I love Megan Watterson. I've taken a lot of her Mary Magdalene classes, So that's why I decided to purchase it and study it and get to know some of the divine feminine women that she includes. But I haven't looked through it yet, so I'm not going to share it. This one is the Psychic Tarot for the Heart by John Holland. And I also have the Psychic Tarot, which is actually a repurchase. I bought it, then I sold it, then I bought it again. And I also wanted the one for the heart. I do like the John Holland decks. I have a few of his. So I have the two Psychic Tarots and then the Mediumship Deck, which I will show you. So I'm gonna have to go a little faster here. I would like to do a more in-depth review of these ones. They're called a tarot, but they're not really a tarot deck, since it doesn't have like the 78 cards, and it has chakra cards. I wanted to get these to work with developing psychic abilities more and mediumship, and that is why I purchased them. Also, relationships are just very important, so I wanted to have this deck to help with that. Next up is the Secret Language of Color. As I've been mentioning in this video, I love working with color. These cards are really simple looking, but they're also really great. So there's a different color image, and then it gives you like a description or an association for the color. So this is a good deck to have if you are new to working with color and you want to start making some connections to what colors might mean for you. I also like that it has like a wide range of colors. I don't know how many cards are in the deck, but it's one of the ones that I really enjoy pulling, like a theme for the week, a color to focus on. And then when I am going throughout that week, whenever I see that color, it's like getting a message or a confirmation from the universe. Next up is the Tarot of Trees. I got this one a long time ago. I think this is the 2nd edition, and I think there's a newer version. I had the app for a long time, and I just really love this one. I think I got it around the same time when I had the Wisdom of Trees or the Soul Tree cards, which I don't have anymore. I ended up trading them. But I know there's a few different versions of that deck now as well. But this one, I just love. I love how small they are, and I love the colors, and I love just the look of the tree art. So this one is a Tarot of Trees by Driscoll. Just really beautiful. And there is an app on your phone if you want to get to know it before purchasing it. Next up, I have the Fat Folk Tarot. I pre-ordered this one when they were doing their campaign back in July, I believe. So this one is a deck by many different artists. This is the first time I purchased a deck that is not by the same artist. And it has different body sizes, which is not something that you see very often in the tarot, and that is why one of the reasons why I wanted to support it. The artwork is really beautiful. And then I didn't know that the moon card, sorry, there is nudity in this card. The moon card was Hecate. So when I figured that out, I was very surprised. And also like felt like that is why I got this deck. I think this is Moana. Maybe the moon card is not gonna come out for us. I also like that there's different genders and sexual orientations included, just more diversity in the cards, which I think is we need more of. Everyone should be able to see themselves in the tarot. And up next I have the Reclaim Oracle. I bought this one, I think I bought it in April, and it took forever to get here because of issues with production. And I bought it in April because I wanted to use it in my Reclaim Yourself journaling exploration, but I wasn't able to get it until much later. But I'm so happy I got it. I love that it has this black gilded edges. The card material feels kind of plasticky, and the keywords and the artwork is really beautiful. And I love this like pink and black palette. So the creator recently did the creator of this deck recently did a Kickstarter for a tarot deck, and I really wanted to back it, but I stopped myself. And I hope that she will sell it outside of the Kickstarter in the future, and that I am able to get it. I just wanted to exert some self-control here, which has not been the theme of 2021 for me. I have purchased a lot of decks, but I really love this one. And there's a workbook that a workbook journal that you can purchase with it. The keywords are like bite-sized keywords, but you can go as deep as you want with it, and it's very accurate. I used it with my family when I was visiting, and I was reading for my mom and my sisters, and they said that the message was very accurate for them. So I'm gonna try to speed up. I keep saying that. This is the Mediumship Deck by John Holland and Lauren Rainbow. This is a study deck where they give you different things that you can do to develop your mediumship and psychic abilities. And in the back of the cards, there's an explanation of what you could do. So it's not really for divination, but just like a study deck. It doesn't come with the book. It comes with this little flip book. The book is the cards. So I have been using them, and some of the things they share are things that you would do just naturally if you were already on a spiritual path. But some of the other things are newer. So I still have like 4 decks to go through, and I'm hoping that my battery doesn't die. Okay, so this is the Earthcraft Oracle by Juliet Diaz and Lorraine Anderson. This is a Hay House deck, and as I mentioned, I love color. So when I saw how colorful it was, I really wanted to get it, and I was not disappointed. I love the artwork. I've never seen the artwork of this person. I love that there is different races and ethnicities included, different spiritual traditions. And I love that it's a nature deck, which is something that I enjoy working with. So that is the Earthcraft Oracle. There's a few other decks by Juliet Diaz that I would like to have in the future, like the Samhain Oracle, the Yuletide Oracle, the Seasons of the Witch collection. This is the Tao Oracle. I actually ended up getting this one from someone who I purchased something from them, another deck, and she ended up including these two. And I was like, okay, thank you. So this one is a Tao Te Ching, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, oracle, and I have not used it too much. but I know some people I follow really have benefited from studying the deck. So this is one of those that I'm keeping around because I want to study it. And I have a few different versions of the Tao that I want to, books that I want to purchase so that I can study with. And yeah, that's how this one came into my life. I also have the Osho Zen Tarot in a different place. That's why it has not appeared. And I love it. It's one of my all-time favorite decks. I'm starting to wonder where it is. So this is the Osho Transformation Tarot, and I have used this one a lot, and I just love the stories that are included in this book. I'm not gonna say I love the cards so much because the artwork is not like super beautiful. I mean, it is beautiful in its own way, but the stories are just really amazing. They're stories that I have not heard before, so I really like this one. And the last one before we run out of juice here. The last one is the Fallen Angel Oracle by Nigel Suckling. And I got this one when I was really interested in working with the fallen angels and curious about the Goetia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So there's the 72 angels, and then there's the 72 demons of the Goetia, and there's a lot of decks that have those angels and demons. This is the only one I have, but there's a few others that I hope to have in the future. The artwork on these ones is really beautiful. It has images of cemeteries, which I love. And then it has the name of the fallen angel, and then their keyword. I do use the book with it because it gives you the background on the angel and their story. I have found it to be very honest in a different way than other oracles. Like other oracles might try to give you the message very like softly and handheld in a way, and this deck is very much like, you're worried about this, bam, or this is what is like the thing that's hidden from you that you need to watch out for. So that's how I have found it. So I've used it more as an oracle with the keywords. I haven't really like connected with the energy of the angel, the fallen angel, but that would be the next thing that I would like to do with this deck. And as I mentioned, sometimes we're influenced by the people who work with the decks, right? And review them and tell us how wonderful they are and how much they have gotten out of working with them. So I think this one for me, the reviewer who influenced me was OwlMoon513, and also Joanna on Instagram. So all right, that's all the decks I wanted to share with you today. I'm not done with my collection yet, but these are the ones that are living here in the room where I spend the most time during the day when I'm working. And so sometimes I tend to pull them out more often than not, but I do try to rotate my decks so that I can use all of them and get something out of them instead of just having them sitting in a shelf collecting dust. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video.